Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza is brought to you by Sport Relay. Honest, unbiased, and apolitical. Sport Relay, your connection to the diamond. And by A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs, Volumes 1 and 2, by Evan Thompson. Relive the glory. A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs.
This week on Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza, we bring you Meltdown Anatomy and Deadbolt Delivered for weeks 25 and 26. We show you team power rankings for both weeks. We give you the rankings of the playoff teams all neatly grouped together in one convenient package. We reveal the week 26 individual power rankings. And we have a visit with our special guest, left-handed setup man and 2024 All-Star Matt Strahm of the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't go away! Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza begins now. Welcome to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. I'm your host, Evan Thompson, Editor-in-Chief, National Writer, and Athletics Writer at Sport Relay. I also wrote these two books, A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs. Volume 1, The Pre-Divisional Tiebreakers through 1976, and Volume 2, 1977 through 1984. Volume 2 also includes the 1978 American League East tiebreaker between the Yankees and Red Sox, the Bucky Dent game, and the 1980 NL West tiebreaker between the Astros and Dodgers, also known as the Joe Niekro game. If you are interested in ordering a copy or two, there are links in the description box below this video. We made it! The regular season is over and we are in the one-day lull before the wildcard round. We are past the era of tiebreaker games and just do all tiebreakers mathematically. The American League East ended in a tie, but the Blue Jays won the division by holding said tiebreaker over the Yankees. The American League Central saw the Guardians storm back from being 15.5 games out to win the division by a game over the reeling Tigers. The Mariners are the American League West champions for the first time since they set the modern record for wins in a season in 2001. All three National League divisions were clinched before the final weekend. The third wildcard spot in both leagues saw a tiebreaker decide them. The Tigers over the Astros in the American League, and the Reds over the Mets, who collapsed spectacularly in the National League. Now let's take a look at some of the top stories from the world of relief pitching. For our top story, we've got a tale of three disasters, all from September 23rd, lined up from bad to worse. First, a bullpen that could not get out of its own way in one brutal half inning. Then, a ninth inning collapse that flipped the game on its head. And finally, the biggest swing of them all, a walk-off in the Bronx that erased an 84% edge in the blink of an eye. 3 innings, 3 collapses, 1 segment you won't forget. It's time for Meltdown Anatomy. Let's start in Seattle, where the Rockies took a 3-1 lead and an 85% win expectancy into the bottom of the 8th against the Mariners. Meltdown Anatomy. Rockies, Mariners, September 23rd, bottom of the 8th. Here's the situation. The Rockies lead 3-1. Juan Mejia is starting the inning against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Being the bottom of the 8th with a 2-run lead, this is a goose egg scenario. The trigger point comes when Luke Raley gets hit by a pitch and J.P. Crawford follows with a walk. That put the tying run aboard with nobody out. Mejia briefly steadied things with back-to-back strikeouts, but Julio Rodriguez's hit by pitch loaded the bases with 2 outs. That set the stage for Josh Naylor. On to T-Mobile Park in the Emerald City. The Rockies' win expectancy to start the half inning is 85%. Luke Raley gets hit by a pitch, knocks the Rockies' win expectancy down to 78%. Up comes J.P. Crawford. He walks. Raley goes to second. Now the Rockies' win expectancy is 65%. Randy Arozarena strikes out looking. Rockies' win expectancy goes back up, 76%. Cal Raleigh strikes out swinging. Rockies' win expectancy is now 85%. Julio Rodriguez gets plunked. Bases are loaded. Rockies' win expectancy is 79%. In comes Victor Vodnik to replace Mejia. Josh Naylor welcomes him to the game with a bases-loaded, base-clearing, 3-run double. Now the Mariners lead 4-3. The Rockies' win expectancy has plummeted to 13%. Jorge Polanco walks. Rockies' win expectancy is still 13%. It really reduced it a tiny bit, but it rounds to 13%. And then Eugenio Suarez strikes out swinging to end the inning.
Damage report, Mr. Spock.
Vodnik inherited 3 runners. All of them scored. Mejia gets a broken egg. Vodnik got a meh because all the runs that came across with him on the mound were inherited from somebody else. But it was definitely, let's say instead of putting out the fire, he poured gasoline on it. The win expectancy swung from 85% for the Rockies to 13%. On to our second game, Meltdown Anatomy. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, September 23rd, bottom of the 9th. Here's the situation. The Dodgers lead 4-3. Tanner Scott has come in to close, and he's facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. The Dodgers are trying to get one step closer to closing out the NL West title, and the Diamondbacks are fighting to stay alive in the National League wildcard hunt. Being the bottom of the 9th with a 1-run lead, this is a goose egg scenario for Scott. The trigger point comes when Ildemaro Vargas gets plunked and Tim Tawa walks. Suddenly, the tying run is in scoring position with nobody out. Here we go to Chase Field in my hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. The Dodgers' win expectancy to start the half inning is 79%. As we mentioned, Ildemaro Vargas gets hit by a pitch. Dodgers' win expectancy is now 66%. Tim Tawa walks. Tying run is in scoring position. Dodgers' win expectancy has fallen a long way to 47%. James McCann drops a sacrifice bunt. Now runners are on second and third. There's 1 out, and the Dodgers' win expectancy is 45%. Jorge Barosa hits a sacrifice fly to deep left to tie the game and knock the Dodgers' win expectancy down to 39%. Up comes Geraldo Perdomo, and he gets the only hit of the inning, but it's a walk-off single to score Tawa from second and give the Diamondbacks a 5-4 walk-off victory. Obviously, with the game being over, the Dodgers' win expectancy is now 0%.
Damage report, Mr. Spock.
3 runners reached base in this half inning, 1 via plunking, 1 on a walk, and then the walk-off single. The Dodgers only allowed 1 hit, but in all 5 plate appearances from this half inning, at least 1 runner advanced. Tanner Scott, of course, gets a broken egg because he began the inning with a 1-run lead and gave up 2 earned runs. Now, we don't use blown saves on this show or in my writings, but it is worth mentioning that that was his 10th blown save of the season, which led the National League. The win expectancy swung from 79% for the Dodgers coming into the half inning to 0% coming out of the half inning and ending the game. Those 2 were tough for fans of the teams that lost the game, but this next one is just brutal. For White Sox fans, at least, it's ecstatic for the Yankee fans. Meltdown Anatomy. White Sox. Yankees. September 23rd. Bottom of the 9th. Here's the situation. The White Sox are ahead 2-1. Brandon Eisert is in to close. He's facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Being the bottom of the 9th with a 1-run lead, this is a goose egg scenario. The trigger point came when Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells opened the half inning with back-to-back singles, putting the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. A Trent Grisham double play looked like the escape hatch, and in fact, it brought the White Sox win expectancy up to 84%, but all it did was delay the inevitable. Let's take a closer look. On to Yankee Stadium. The White Sox win expectancy to start this half inning is 80%. Anthony Volpe singles. White Sox win expectancy is now 67%. Austin Wells singles. Advances Volpe to second. Now the White Sox win expectancy is 48%. Trent Grisham grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. There are 2 outs now. Volpe is on third, and the White Sox win expectancy is 84%. Aaron Judge is up next. Every manager in the league would have intentionally walked him here. This is no exception. White Sox win expectancy is now 80%. Now they have a force play on a ground ball up the middle. Doesn't matter, though, because Cody Bellinger walks, and this is a wild pitch if there ever was one. Tying run scores. It's 2-2 now. White Sox win expectancy has plummeted to 39%. In comes Steven Wilson in place of Isert. Jose Caballero, after fouling off 5 pitches, strokes an RBI single. Yankees walk it off 3-2, and the White Sox win expectancy, of course, with the game being over and them having lost, is now 0%.
Damage report, Mr. Spock.
Wilson inherited 2 runners, 1 scored. The other couldn't score because the game was over and it wasn't a home run. Isert has a broken egg for allowing 2 earned runs when he could have had a goose egg. Wilson allowed the game winner, but it was a meh for him because the game-winning run was inherited from another pitcher. The win expectancy swing for the White Sox plunged from 84% to 0%, all with 2 outs. 3 innings, 3 collapses, and 3 reminders that the last 3 outs are never guaranteed. The Rockies watched an 85% edge plummet to 13% in Seattle. The Dodgers turned a 79% lock into a walk-off loss in Phoenix. And the White Sox saw their 84% cushion with 2 outs in the Bronx disappear in the cruelest way possible. Different relief units, same brutal truth. Sometimes momentum doesn't merely shift, it evaporates. Now for the most dominant team relief performances of the week. It's time for another edition of Deadbolt Delivered, where we honor the relief units that slammed the door and threw away the key. Here are this week's door slams. Real quick, for those who are new to this segment or have forgotten since the last episode, to get a door slam, a team must close out the game with at least 3 consecutive goose eggs. This string must be completely uninterrupted. There cannot be any broken eggs in there, there cannot be any mezz in there, and there can't be any situation where the score differential is such that the pitcher doesn't get any of the 3. It must be goose egg, goose egg, goose egg. Bang, 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 at least 3 in a row. Why is this important? If a team gets a door slam, they completely shut the opponent down en route to a narrow victory. When the last outs are on the line, it's lockdown only. The door slam celebrates those nights when the back end doesn't just protect the lead, it shuts the door, throws the deadbolt, and walks away with the key. Over the 11-day span, known as weeks 25 and 26, there were 23 door slams. Here they are in chronological order. On Thursday, September 18th, there were 2 door slams. Tim Herron, Colby Allard, and Hunter Gaddis delivered the win for the Guardians over the Tigers, while Eduard Bizardo, Gabe Spire, and Andres Munoz secured the victory for the Mariners over the Royals. Friday, September 19th, also had 2. Brady Basso, Justin Sterner, and Michael Kelly finished the job as the Athletics defeated the Pirates, and Juan Mejia, Jimmy Herget, and Victor Vodnik locked down the Rockies' win over the Angels. Saturday, September 20th was a busy one with 3. Braxton Ashcraft shouldered the load with 2 goose eggs before Dennis Santana closed out the Pirates' win over the Athletics. Aaron Ashby, Jared Koenig, and Abner Uribe powered the Brewers to victory over the Cardinals, with Koenig firing off 2 goose eggs in the middle. And Justin Robleski, Will Klein, and Jack Dreyer combined to finish the Dodgers' win over the Giants. Sunday, September 21st brought 4 more. Nick Martinez, Graham Ashcraft, and Tony Santillan secured the Reds' win over the Cubs. Mitchell Parker went the distance with a 3 goose egg solo door slam to carry the Nationals past the Mets. Ronnie Enriquez, Michael Peterson, and George Soriano delivered the Marlins' win over the Rangers. And Jimmy Herget, Juan Mejia, and Victor Vodnik secured the Rockies' second door slam of the week, doing so against the Angels. On Tuesday, September 23rd, there were two. Justin Lawrence, Isaac Mattson, and Dennis Santana finished the Pirates' win over the Reds, and Brooks Raley and Edwin Diaz combined to close the Mets' win over the Cubs, with Diaz stacking up 2 goose eggs to finish it. Wednesday, September 24th, had Nick Mears, Jared Koenig, and Abner Uribe combined to lock down the Brewers' win over the Padres, with Koenig again locking 2 goose eggs in the chain. Thursday, September 25th, saw 2. The Phillies trio of Taijuan Walker, Matt Strahm, and David Robertson silenced the Marlins, and Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, and David Bednar of the Yankees slammed the door on the White Sox. Friday, the 26th, saw only 1, that coming from Graham Ashcraft, Tony Santillan, and Emilio Pagan in the Reds' win over the Brewers. Saturday, the 27th, had 2. The first came from the Pirates, as Chase Shugart, Justin Lawrence, and Dennis Santana held off the Braves. The other came from the Dodgers and merits special mention. Not only did Blake Treinen, Alex Vesia, and Edgardo Henriquez polish off the Mariners, but they ended the game by collectively striking out 9 straight batters, 3 apiece. In the last day of the regular season, Sunday the 28th, had 4. Steven Matz, Zach Kelly, and Greg Weissert for the Red Sox. Weaver, Williams, and Bednar again for the Yankees. Chad Patrick, Jared Koenig, and Abner Uribe for the Brewers. And a 3 goose egg solo job for Jordan Wicks of the Cubs. Here's a table showing how many each team that had at least one ended up having in this 11-day span. In summary, there were 23 total door slams league-wide in this 11-day span. The Brewers and Pirates led the pack with 3 apiece. The Reds, Rockies, Dodgers, and Yankees had 2 apiece. September 21st and 28th were the busiest days. Each day had 4 door slams. The Reds, Nationals, Marlins, and Rockies on the 21st, and the Red Sox, Yankees, Brewers, and Cubs on the 28th. Don't know what it is about Sundays here. September 22nd was the quietest day with none. The National League had 10 teams and the American League had 5 teams on the list. 2 of those National League teams had 3 door slams. 3 more NL teams and 1 AL team had 2 door slams, giving the National League 17 door slams and the American League 6 door slams. Coming up next, the Team Relief Corps Power Rankings. Don't close that video yet. Welcome back to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. It is time for the Team Relief Corps Power Rankings for Week 26. These rankings include every pitch thrown in relief by a player wearing said team's uniform, excluding position players, from the beginning of play on August 1st, which was the day after the trade deadline, and the end of play on Sunday, September 28th, which was the end of the regular season. We are using this starting point because a lot of teams' rosters changed dramatically at the trade deadline, and this way, we will get a better idea of which team's relief unit really is the toughest nut to crack as we head into October. This table shows the scoring breakdown. Teams are ranked in clutch, run prevention, base runner prevention, and command, weighted as shown. The final score determines the ranking. 0 means right at league average. Positive is better than average. Negative is below average. A score of 100 means the team is 100% better than league average. A score of 50 is 50% better. A score of negative 50 is 50% lower than league average, and so on. Each whole number equals 1 percentage point. We will start with the number 30 team and work our way to number 1. American League teams will appear in red. National League teams will appear in blue. The first number in parentheses after the team name is their rank within their league. The number after the comma shows the change in their major league rank between the Week 25 post-deadline rankings and the Week 26 post-deadline rankings. Speaking of Week 25, which ran through the end of play on Wednesday, September 24th, here are both variations of the Week 25 Team Relief Corps Power Rankings. First, for the full season. The column with pluses, minuses, and NC indicates the change in full season Major League rankings since Week 24. NC does not stand for North Carolina here, it stands for no change. And then post-trade deadline, including the change in ranking from the Week 24 post-deadline rankings. Now a look at what the Week 26 power rankings would be if we included the full season, including the change from Week 25 full season rankings. And now the post-deadline rankings, which are also the official power rankings for Week 26. Here we go! Our first group is pray for a blowout win. At number 30, the New York Mets, falling 2 spots with a score of negative 13.5. Number 29, the Toronto Blue Jays, climbing 1 with a score of negative 11.8. And number 28, the Minnesota Twins, also up 1 after scoring negative 10.6. Next is stock up on Tums. Number 27, the Los Angeles Angels, dropping 1 spot with a score of negative 6.0. Number 26, the Chicago White Sox, down 2 after scoring negative 3.7. Number 25, the New York Yankees, rising 2 spots with a score of a negative 1.1. Number 24, the Arizona Diamondbacks, tumbling 4 spots after scoring 0.2. And number 23, the Los Angeles Dodgers, climbing 2 spots with a score of 1.2. In lots of work to do, we've got 3 teams. Number 22, the Texas Rangers, slipping 1 spot with a score of 2.9. Number 21, the Tampa Bay Rays, down 3 spots after scoring 3.07, rounded to 3.1. And number 20, the San Francisco Giants, jumping 3 spots with a score of 3.12, also rounded to 3.1. Below average has 3 clubs this week. Number 19, the St. Louis Cardinals, falling 2 spots with a score of 4.97, rounded to 5.0. Number 18, the Baltimore Orioles, nudging up 1 after scoring 5.02, also rounded to 5.0. Number 17, the Pittsburgh Pirates, surging 5 spots with a score of 5.1. In the average, we have the number 16 Detroit Tigers, unchanged from Week 25 with a score of 9.8. And the number 15 Washington Nationals, dropping 5 places after scoring 10.0. Above average has 4 teams. Number 14, the San Diego Padres, up 1 spot with a score of 13.6. Number 13, the Miami Marlins, also up a spot with a score of 15.6. Number 12, the Cincinnati Reds, holding steady in their spot with a score of 16.9. And number 11, the Chicago Cubs, unchanged with a score of 19.7. The very good is a trio this week. Number 10, the Houston Astros, tumbling 6 places with a score of 22.46, rounded to 22.5. Number 9, the Philadelphia Phillies, climbing 4 spots after scoring 22.50, also rounded to 22.5. Number 8, the Kansas City Royals, up a spot with a score of 24.0. Better Take an Early Lead features 4 relief units. Number 7, the Colorado Rockies, slipping a spot with a score of 27.0. Number 6, the Milwaukee Brewers, up a spot after scoring 29.7. Number 5, the Seattle Mariners, down 3 spots with a score of 31.3. And number 4, the Atlanta Braves, climbing a spot after scoring 33.2. And finally, the elite. Number 3, the Boston Red Sox, vaulting 5 places with a score of 36.6. Number 2, the Athletics, up a spot with a score of 41.2. And number 1, the Cleveland Guardians, holding firm at the top spot with a score of 41.9. The biggest gainers in this edition are the Red Sox and Pirates, both up 5. The Phillies up 4. The Giants up 3. And the Dodgers and Yankees both up 2. The steepest drops came from the Astros, down 6. The Nationals down 5. The Diamondbacks down 4. The Mariners and Rays both down 3. And the White Sox, Mets, and Cardinals each down 2. Here is each team's post-trade deadline score, separated by league and split into the 4 categories. Between the team name and clutch, we've included door slams in the column called DS. Before we end this segment, here is a look at 4 scatter plots. Week 25, full season. Week 25, post-trade deadline. Week 26, full season. and Week 26 post-trade deadline. Now for the rankings of all of the playoff teams, all grouped together in one neat, tight, convenient little package for you. I'll do the American League teams first this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read you each team's rank within their own league, since the playoffs are within their own league. World Series isn't playoffs. Playoffs means determining who plays in the World Series. So we're starting with the American League. I'll give you their full season ranking first, then their ranking since the trade deadline, so you can see who is in the best current form. Beginning with the two teams that earned a first round bye, so the two division winners with the best records. First, the Toronto Blue Jays, who are 8th and 15th. 8th for the full season, 15th since the trade deadline. The Mariners, 3rd for the full season, 4th since the trade deadline. Now I'll do this next part by wild card matchup. So first, the 6th seed Detroit Tigers, who got the 3rd wild card spot. They are 11th for the full season, and they're 7th since the trade deadline. Their opponents are the team that beat them out for the division title. The 3rd seed and AL Central champion Cleveland Guardians. They are 1st in both. The other wild card matchup is an American League East duel. The 5 seed Boston Red Sox are 2nd for the full season and 3rd since the trade deadline. Their opponents, the 4 seeded and host New York Yankees, are 12th for the full season and 11th since the deadline. So in each game there is a definite advantage for one of the teams as far as relief units go. Moving on now to the National League. First, the top 2 seeds who earned a first round bye. The Central Division champion Milwaukee Brewers, number 1 seed overall in the National League. 8th for the full season, but 2nd since the trade deadline. The National League East champion Philadelphia Phillies, the 2nd seed in the National League. 7th for the full season and 4th since the trade deadline. Now the wild card matchups. First, the 3-6. The 6th seeded Cincinnati Reds, 9th for the full season, 6th since the trade deadline, and a team they shared the NL West with from 1969 to 1993. The number 3 seed and National League West champion Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 10th for the full season and 13th since the trade deadline. The other matchup, a rematch of the 1984 National League Championship Series, which the Padres became the only National League team to come back from a 2-0 deficit and win 3-2 in a National League Championship Series under the best-of-5 era. So the 5 seed San Diego Padres are 1st for the full season and 8th since the trade deadline. Their opponents, the 4 seed Chicago Cubs, and hosts of this playoff. 3rd for the full season and 5th since the trade deadline. The wild card round begins Tuesday, September 30th. That's the day after I'm recording this. It is a best 2 out of 3. All games are hosted by the higher seed. Coming up next, our special guest, Matt Strahm of the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't close that video yet. Welcome back to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. It is a pleasure to have with me Matt Strahm of the Philadelphia Phillies, our 2nd ever player guest. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the main reason I have you here, the Phillies have been a big story as far as the way the pen has gone over the past few weeks. It's kind of been a season of big changes, and I've found about 3 of them. So the first big change, what all changes arrived on and off the field when you lost the services of Alvarado for 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Albie was a big part to the back end of our bullpen, and I mean, in my 3 years here, we've never really had roles, so I would say not much changed. Everyone shifted back a little.
Okay. And then trade deadline, you made one of the biggest deals of the deadline, getting Joan Duran.
Yeah.
His arrival. What changes happened on and off the field with Duran's arrival?
one person got a roll and the rest of us got bumped up one. So yeah, that's kind of how they do things here.
And what has Duran done for the team since arriving?
Been, he's a great closer, but yeah, I'd say closing.
Okay, and as far as in the pen, how has he blended in with you guys?
Oh, I mean, great. The bullpen it's our place of work. So I mean, this team's very professional. Guys are here to do their job, and I mean, he's meshed well with that.
Okay. And the other big one, the return of David Robertson.
Yeah.
What did that do for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got great experience in the game, and he's been a leverage reliever for his entire career. So anytime you're able to add someone with that kind of experience, you like your odds, and every time he's on the mound, you have the utmost confidence in him.
Hey, well, last question I have for you: when you're at home and your name is announced and you're coming in the game,
Yeah.
and everything's going on around you,
Yeah.
how does that all feel? What's going through your head?
I mean, Citizens Bank is a special place. You know, I've always said, like, I black out when I pitch, and I would just say in Citizens Bank it happens sooner because of the fans and the crowd. It's nothing you can really put into words, but you feel it. It's different, but I love it.
Well, thanks for coming by. Matt finished 5th in the National League in our Setup Men Power Rankings last week. Stay tuned to see where he is this week. Welcome back to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. It is time for the individual power rankings for Week 26. Statistics include every game of the season. To qualify for the rankings, there is a minimum of 30 relief appearances. And for the Goose Egg Broken Egg Plus statistic, which forms 2/3 of the clutch category that we use to rate setup men and closers, there is a minimum of 15 Goose Eggs plus Broken Eggs. As always, the full breakdown of our ranking methods can be found via the link in the description box below this video. And a note on the roles: if a team is using co-closers, we list both as closers. If it is closer by committee, we list all members of that committee as setup men. Here we go. Beginning with the American League middle relievers. Number 10 with 13.0 from the Rangers, Chris Martin. Number 9 with 15.4 from the Rays, Brian Baker. Number 8 with 16.8, also from the Rangers, Cole Winn. Number 7 with 18.2, again from the Rangers, Danny Coulombe. Number 6 with 18.9 from the Astros, Bennett Souza. Number 5 with 19.6 from the Blue Jays, Tommy Nance. Number 4 with 20.1 from the Yankees, Fernando Cruz. Number 3 with 23.1 from the Rays, Garrett Clevenger. Number 2 with 27.7 from the Blue Jays, Braden Fisher. And number 1 with 31.5 from the Mariners, Gabe Spire. Their counterparts in the National League: number 10 with 8.5 from the Diamondbacks, Jalen Beeks. Number 9 with 9.2 from the Braves, Pierce Johnson. Number 8 with 9.5 from the Phillies, Tanner Banks, whom I interviewed for my article that appeared earlier this week. Number 7 with 9.6 from the Brewers, Nick Mears. Number 6 with 12.7 from the Dodgers, Brock Stewart. Number 5 with 17.284, rounded to 17.3, from the Padres, Jeremiah Estrada. Number 4 with 17.348, also rounded to 17.3, from the Cardinals, Matt Swanson. Number 3 with 20.0, also from the Dodgers, Jack Dreyer. Number 2 with 24.1 from the Cubs, Drew Pomeranz. And number 1 with 29.1 points from the Mets, Brooks Raley. Moving on to the American League setup men. Number 10 with 55.4 from the Blue Jays, Seranthony Dominguez. The man I will always remember as the guy who got traded in the middle of a doubleheader from one team to the other team playing in that game. Number 9 with 72.5 from the Yankees, Luke Weaver. Number 8 with 76.4 from the Astros, Brian King. Number 7 with 81.3 from the Rays, Griffin Jax. Number 6 with 84.1 from the Mariners, Matt Brash. Number 5 with 99.9 from the Red Sox, Justin Slayton. Number 4 with 102.2 from the Royals, Lucas Erceg. Number 3 with 105.3 from the Guardians, Hunter Gaddis. Number 2 with 137.1, also from the Red Sox, Garrett Whitlock. And number 1 by less than a point. The difference here is 9/10 of a point. His score was 138.0 from the Mariners, Eduard Bissardo. National League setup men. Number 10 with 77.7 from the Cardinals, Jojo Romero. Number 9 with 82.8 from the Phillies, Matt Strahm. Number 8 with 83.3 from the Brewers, Jared Koenig. Number 7 with 84.1 from the Marlins, Anthony Bender. Number 6 with 93.1, also from the Marlins, Calvin Fauché. Number 5 with 96.8 from the Reds, Tony Santillan. Number 4 with 99.8 from the Padres, Jason Adam. Number 3 with 104.7, also from the Marlins, Ronnie Enriquez. Number 2 with 120.7 from the Cubs, Brad Keller. And number 1 with 144.7 from the Padres, Mason Miller. Moving on to the American League closers. Number 5 with 128.7 from the Guardians, Cade Smith. Number 4 with 162.6 from the Red Sox, Aroldis Chapman. Number 3 with 172.0 from the Astros, Josh Hader, whom they desperately missed. Number 2 with 177.6 from the Rangers, Sean Armstrong. And number 1 with 210.7 from the Mariners, Andres Munoz. And finally, the National League closers. Number 5 with 92.8 from the Brewers, Abner Uribe. Number 4 with 108.7 from the Phillies, Joan Duran. Number 3 with 135.6 from the Pirates, Dennis Santana. Number 2 with 154.6 from the Padres, Robert Suarez. And number 1 with 196.9 points from the Mets, Edwin Diaz. That concludes this installment of Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza from Sport Relay. Join us next time when we will review the wild card round and preview the divisional round. I'm Evan Thompson. Thanks for watching, and we will see you then. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Click subscribe so you'll never miss an episode of this show or of our other show, Trade Trees. Tell your friends and baseball contacts. If you haven't done so yet, consider buying my books. A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs, Volume 1 and Volume 2. There are links in the description box below this video. And finally, bookmark and regularly visit sportrelay.com. Until next time, this is Evan Thompson saying so long for now.